Some kill for war, some kill for pleasure. Others kill because it's the only life they've ever known. Imagine a Soviet sniper so lethal that over 242 enemy soldiers fell at his hands in the brutal Battle of Stalingrad. Or an American serial killer who built a murder castle filled with hidden chambers and torture devices, confessing to 27 gruesome murders. History has seen its fair share of deadly individuals, but these are some of the most dangerous people to have ever lived. Imagine a noblewoman so infamous she's remembered as history's most prolific female serial killer. Elizabeth Báthory, born in 1560 to one of Hungary's wealthiest families, stands at the center of a historical mystery that continues to fascinate and horrify. After her husband Ferenc Nadasty's death in 1604, disturbing accusations emerged. Witnesses claimed the Countess tortured and murdered hundreds of young women, primarily servants and local peasants, at her Chaktic castle. The most shocking allegation, she bathed in their blood, believing it preserved her youth. In 1610, authorities raided her castle, discovering evidence of cruelty. Her servants, tortured into confession, described horrific acts including burning, freezing, and mutilation of victims. While her accomplices were executed, Báthory, protected by her noble status, was never tried. Instead, she was confined within bricked-up rooms until her death in 1614. Modern scholars debate whether she was truly a sadistic killer or, as a wealthy widow with considerable power, the victim of a political conspiracy designed to seize her vast estates. The truth remains elusive, but the blood countess continues to haunt our collective imagination. A hunter sees patterns. A sniper sees opportunities. In the frozen ruins of Stalingrad, Vasily Zaitsev became a death incarnate. Born in the Ural Mountains, Zaitsev learned marksmanship hunting wolves with his grandfather. When war erupted, he served in the Pacific Fleet's financial department before repeatedly requesting transfer to combat. At Stalingrad, armed with his Mosin Nagant, he eliminated 242 enemy soldiers between October 1942 and January 1943. His tactical innovations revolutionized sniping. The six technique, using three positions with sniper-spotter pairs, remains in military doctrine today. His trainees, affectionately called baby rabbits, collectively eliminated thousands of enemy soldiers. Wounded by mortar fire in 1943, Zaitsev returned after eye surgery to finish the war as a captain. Though Soviet accounts describe a legendary duel with German sniper Major Koenig, historical evidence for Koenig's existence remains elusive. After the war, Zaitsev became an engineer and textile factory director in Kiev until his death in 1991. His remains now rest at Mamayev Kurgan, overlooking the city he helped defend. Imagine facing an enemy who strikes without warning. Never seen, never heard, just a flash of white in a frozen wasteland. That was Simo Häyhä, the deadliest sniper in history. During the Winter War of 1939 to 1940, as Soviet forces invaded Finland, one man stood between them and victory. A humble farmer and hunter before the conflict, Häyhä transformed into something else entirely. Dressed in pure white camouflage, he moved like a ghost through the snow, packing it in front of his position to hide his breath and muzzle flash. In just 98 days of the 105-day war, he eliminated over 500 Soviet soldiers, approximately 300 with his rifle using only iron sights to avoid the telltale glint of a scope, and another 200 with his submachine gun. In one day alone, he claimed 25 lives. His enemies called him the White Death, and for good reason. He needed no spotter, no advanced gear, just patience, skill, and deadly precision. Even when a Soviet bullet shattered his jaw, Häyhä survived, waking from a coma as the war ended. He never bragged about his kills. When asked how he became such an effective sniper, his answer was simple: practice. Some men fight wars. Simo Häyhä was a war itself. The Nazis screamed her name as a curse, Lady Death. To the Red Army, she was a legend. To the Wehrmacht, a ghost who turned their ranks into hunting grounds. Lyudmila Pavlichenko didn't fight in World War II. She terrorized. When Hitler invaded the USSR in 1941, the 24-year-old historian traded her books for a sniper rifle. Rejecting orders to become a nurse, she joined the 25th Rifle Division and racked up 309 kills, 36 rival snipers in under a year. Her patience was inhuman. In one duel, she waited 3 days for a single shot, leaving a German sharpshooter dead in the mud. The Axis offered bribes, chocolate, officer rank. When she refused, they vowed to rip her into 309 pieces. She laughed. They'd counted correctly. A mortar blast finally stopped her in 1942, but not before she'd become a Soviet icon. Evacuated to the US, she met Eleanor Roosevelt and mocked hesitant allies. "I've killed 309 fascists. Don't you think you've hidden behind my back too long?" Post-war, she trained killers in silence, her legacy etched in Nazi blood. Lyudmila didn't just break records, she rewrote the rules of war, one bullet at a time. A charming doctor, a meticulous swindler, a bigamist with multiple wives. Herman Webster Mudgett, better known as H. Holmes, wore many masks, but history remembers him as America's first documented serial killer. During the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, Holmes welcomed visitors to his 3-story building, a pharmacy on the first floor, torture chambers on the second, and apartments on the third. This murder castle contained gas chambers, trapdoors, soundproof rooms, dissection tables, and acid vats. Guests, particularly young women, checked in. Many disappeared forever. Holmes's crimes extended beyond murder to elaborate insurance frauds. It was one such scheme, killing his business partner Benjamin Petezel and 3 of Petezel's children, that led to his capture in Boston in 1894. Though he confessed to 27 murders, investigators suspected between 20 to 200 victims. Holmes sold some bodies to medical schools, disposed of others in his basement kiln. Before his Philadelphia hanging on May 7, 1896, Holmes denied most murders. Not the chilling confession of popular myth, but the calculated denial of a lifelong manipulator. A doctor, fraudster, and calculated killer, H. Holmes was America's first architect of systematic death. Miyamoto Musashi, Japan's most feared and undefeated samurai, was born around 1584. At just 13, he won his first duel, defeating an experienced samurai with a single strike. Over the next 6 decades, he engaged in over 60 duels, never once losing. His most famous duel was against Sasaki Kojiro, a master swordsman known for his precision. In 1612, Musashi arrived late to their duel on Ganryujima Island, armed with a wooden sword carved from an oar. Within moments, Kojiro lay dead on the beach, struck by a fatal blow to the head. Beyond his prowess as a warrior, Musashi was a philosopher, artist, and writer. He founded the Hyoho Nitan Ichi-ryu style of swordsmanship and penned the Book of 5 Rings, a timeless guide to strategy. In his final years, Musashi retreated to the Reigando cave, where he wrote about life and war. He defined what it meant to be a warrior, leaving an indelible mark on the samurai world. Musashi's legacy extends far beyond his victories, shaping the very essence of martial philosophy. He died in 1645, at the age of 61, after completing his magnum opus. Chris Kyle, known as the Devil of Ramadi, was a Navy SEAL sniper whose impact on the battlefield was profound. Born on April 8, 1974, in Odessa, Texas, Kyle grew up with a passion for hunting and later became a professional bronco rider before enlisting in the U.S. Navy in 1998. He graduated from basic underwater demolition dower SEAL training in 2001 and served with SEAL Team 3 until his honorable discharge in 2009. Kyle deployed to Iraq 4 times, participating in key battles in Nasiriyah, Fallujah, Ramadi, and Baghdad. His exceptional marksmanship earned him 160 confirmed kills, though some estimates suggest a higher number. Insurgents placed a bounty on his head, and he was feared for his ability to remain unseen until the perfect moment to strike. After leaving the military, Kyle dedicated his life to helping veterans through the Fitco Cares Foundation and co-founded Craft International, a tactical training company. His autobiography, American Sniper, became a bestseller and was adapted into a successful film directed by Clint Eastwood. Tragically, Kyle was killed in 2013 by a former Marine he was trying to help at a Texas gun range. His legacy extends beyond his military achievements. It's about the lives he saved, the warriors he trained, and the sacrifices he made. Chris Kyle didn't just fight for his country, he protected it with honor and courage, leaving an enduring impact on American history.
And it's not the story about, hey, look at me. It's a story of, look at the heroes I served with. And it's easy to look good when you're surrounded by these guys.
His story continues to inspire and unite communities, fostering a sense of purpose and brotherhood among veterans and civilians alike. Forget Hollywood gangsters. Semion Mogilevich is the real deal. Dubbed the boss of bosses, he built a criminal empire so vast that even the FBI calls him the most dangerous mobster in the world. Born in Ukraine in 1946, Mogilevich made his fortune through arms trafficking, drug smuggling, money laundering, and contract killings. Unlike traditional gangsters, he wields power through banks, businesses, and political connections. Tied to the Solntsevskaya Bratva, he allegedly laundered billions and played a controversial role in the Russian-Ukrainian gas trade, claims he denies. The FBI placed him on their most wanted list for fraud and racketeering, yet after a brief arrest in Russia, he was mysteriously released in 2009. Now he lives openly in Moscow, shielded by powerful allies. With over 100 front companies across 27 countries and ties to global crime families, Mogilevich remains untouchable. Governments fear him, criminals obey him, and crossing him is a death sentence. Despite a $5 million bounty on his head, he remains free, a mastermind whose legend only grows.
Support and music!
Some men seek power, others crave destruction. Abubakar Shekau wanted both. As the leader of Boko Haram, he turned Nigeria and its neighbors into a battlefield, leaving behind fear and devastation. Taking control in 2009 after the death of founder Muhammad Yusuf, Shekau expanded the group's influence. His fighters raided villages, bombed public spaces, and carried out mass abductions, including the kidnapping of 276 schoolgirls from Chibok in 2014, which sparked global outrage and the Chiwer Bring Back Our Girls campaign. Ruling through intimidation, Shekau executed rivals and even loyalists who questioned him. His videos showed him mocking world leaders and boasting about attacks. His actions displaced millions, causing instability across the Lake Chad region. In 2015, he aligned with ISIS but later clashed with them over leadership. In May 2021, after being cornered by rival fighters in the Sambisa forest, he chose to take his own life rather than be captured. For over a decade, Shekau spread fear across West Africa. His death ended his reign, but his group remains active, fractured into competing factions. His legacy is one of destruction, leaving behind deep scars that continue to shape the region's history. For 30 years, he was the ghost of the Sicilian mafia, hidden in the shadows, untouchable. Matteo Messina Denaro, nicknamed Diabolic, wasn't just another mob boss. He was Cosa Nostra's last godfather. Born into the mafia in 1962, Denaro earned his reputation early, once boasting, "I filled a cemetery all by myself." He was convicted for his role in the 1992 assassinations of anti-mafia prosecutors Giovanni Falcone and Paolo Borsellino, and orchestrated bombings that killed politicians and civilians. His brutality knew no bounds. He even ordered the kidnapping and murder of a 12-year-old boy, dissolving the body in acid. When Italy cracked down on Cosa Nostra, Denaro vanished. For decades, he lived a life of luxury while evading capture, becoming one of the world's most wanted men. On January 16, 2023, after 30 years on the run, he was finally arrested, hiding in plain sight, receiving cancer treatment in Sicily under an alias. Denaro died in a prison hospital on September 25, 2023, taking the mafia's deepest secrets to his grave. But one truth remains. For decades, Matteo Messina Denaro was the embodiment of the Sicilian mafia. Whether driven by duty, darkness, or something far more sinister, these individuals left behind a trail of death and destruction. Some were hailed as heroes, others as monsters, but all were bound by an unmatched ability to take a life. What do you think? Does the context of their actions change how we should remember them? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more shocking stories from history. After all, sometimes the most dangerous people aren't found in myths and legends, they walk among us.